was all a dream.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Let's start dreaming.
It alters your life and you never think the same again.
Some dumb thing on the edges of nowhere.
A collection of question marks stuck together into a pit of darkness. No logic, no reason, no explanation.
We can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice between fear and love.
That's just deep, bro. That's deep.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Let's Start Dreaming podcast. I'm your host, Carson McGregor.
And I am your other host, Mikey G.
And we are coming to you guys a little bit after the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you guys all had a pretty good holiday. Hope you remembered the basis for the Thanksgiving holiday, that the colonizing parties came in and just totally wiped out a whole race of people with disease and guns. And now we're all living in that world. Not trying to make anybody feel bad about it, because I think we're all pretty aware, but isn't that fucking nuts?
Yeah. But it's good to be thankful and celebrate and have family time and eat food and eat a lot of turkey and pumpkin pie. And I am thankful to have some family time and have 4 days off of work too, which I was very thankful for. Oh my God. Felt like a godsend.
I got no days off of work, dude.
Oh, that sucks.
Except for Thanksgiving Day itself. Like, I got nothing. I actually had to work more.
I was so surprised that I got Friday off. I was like, oh, you guys are kidding. You guys are fucking with me, right? Right? Where's the laugh track? Where's the red curtains? I know y'all are fucking with me. But no, they were legit and straight up. Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, Thanksgiving, that was enacted in the after the Civil War. Did you know that? By Mr. Lincoln?
Really? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, he wanted to give thanks. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know the base. I mean, I know that they had a Thanksgiving the first time around, like one of the first couple of years when the Pilgrims came. Yeah,
so they could get all carbo loaded to kill the native people.
Oh fuck! My chair's fucking broken. Oh my God.
It's like, all right, let's eat a bunch right now, because we have a lot of slaughter to do tomorrow.
That's fucked up for laughing. I know, but it's just a joke. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. You know what I learned recently was that why Christopher Columbus called the Indians, because I knew he was trying to go to India.
Yeah, he was trying to go to India, and he thought he was in India.
But that's like, why would we still call them the Indians? How did that stick? How did that fucking stick? Like, I remember going to I remember in preschool or kindergarten, like, we went to the Native American Museum. We would just talk about Indians and knew, like, and wear our feather hats and shit. But, like, why did that stick for fucking hundreds of years? They're not Indians.
Well, I mean, I think that is a pretty crazy part of it, that we still call them, or that they're still, in some regards, referred to as, like, American Indians. But it's also, I think a big part of that is that the rest of the colonized world at that point kind of had names for their own countries. You know, they called England. They called India. They called China. But, like, at that point, the United States, or what we know as the United States, or just North America, didn't really have a colonized name.
Yeah, that show was the New World. That was the New World right there.
Yeah.
Damn, imagine going there. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to this new world.
You know why it's called America, by the way? We're half the fucking globe, how it got that name.
No clue.
The guy that first drew the map was named Amerigo Vespucci, and
was he like,
and he wrote his name on the first map. Like, he's like, this is by Amerigo Vespucci, and people just thought his name was America. That's literally why it's called America.
That's kind of lit. That's pretty fucking lit. Like, let's just call the Western Hemisphere after me, Mikey Land. Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
I gotta imagine if I time traveled back and I talked to that guy like while he's drawing the map, and be like, "Hey, did you know that? Like, I know you couldn't know this, but fucking half the world is gonna bear your name, but like a fake version, like a not your actual name, like just like a misspelling of your name." He'd probably
You
be
know,
like, "I don't know what you're saying because I only speak Italian."
You know, yeah, a lot of people change their name coming over to America. I know that has nothing to do with Amerigo and America. Well, it kind of does. But like my family name was Gianella, but for some reason they switched it to Gianelli. I think because they didn't want to catch like racist flack, even though Gianelli sounds just as Italian as Gianella.
I think it's
to me.
no, I there's a lot of that. There's a lot of slight misspellings of people that immigrated here, and I think a lot of it was just people's handwriting. You know,
Yeah, I haven't thought of
like
that.
they printed it as something because they read it as another thing. They're like, oh, Gianelli, I guess I think that's what it says, and so they printed it as that, and that's what the name was. You know, there's stories of people that like they didn't know what surname was. You know, they didn't know what like surname meant, so they just would like write. They would like put it in backwards. So if your name was like John Smith, then your name in America would be, hey, I'm Smith John, like that. But it was happening with like Italian people and French people and Irish.
You know how like sometimes your last name has come historically from like what your ancestors have done or like what they do,
Yeah,
like Smith or Wheeler or like Taylor.
yeah.
Why was there no cocksuckers like John Cock or like Jane Cocksucker? You know?
I don't think they were called cocksuckers. I don't think they were called cocksuckers.
Think they had some secret names or like
Um,
they just didn't get they didn't carry those names like Jeanette Horst and Whoretown, Jeanette Town Whore.
No, I think that's where like you ever met somebody with a last name French? I think that's what it's that's where it comes from.
French?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, because like the French are notoriously all cocksuckers. That's not fucked up. I'm French. I'm that is my native background is French, so I can say that shit.
You're pulling out some Revolutionary War beef type shit, like oh,
I don't give a fuck.
filthy French. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine the world without the colonization that happened though. Like, there's really no way to imagine it. And look, I'm not gonna say that this shit was essential, but life as we know it would not be life as we know it had the events hadn't happened. Although not saying that shit, the events that happened to lead up to America and how it is, not saying that it's not fucked up, because you know genocide of a fucking race is not good. Okay, that's really bad. I don't know. I guess the morals and ethics of these guys are just out the fucking window. It was all for God and glory and gold. So they're just like, yo, let's just do whatever we fucking want to.
Yeah.
I was watching this Vice thing actually about Japan and their history, and like how just skewed their history books are to like to the children, the high schoolers, the middle schoolers, and they're just like all the fucked up shit that Japan. I mean, I guess that could go the same for us, but all the fucked up shit that that Japan has done is like just ever so slightly mentioned and glanced over, and it's just like wow. Like, there was this one genocide where, like, they fucking tried to take over a lot of China. And no, South Korea. They had all these fucking South Korean women as fucking working in brothels, and they were literally, like, comfort women for the Japanese, and they murdered fucking thousands and thousands of people in China.
Yo, Asian beef is, like, the craziest thing to me, because it's, like, an established thing that the different... you know, people living in Asia, whether that be Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian, Korean, they just don't like each other. That's obviously not across the board, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's beef. There's a lot of beef there. Like, Mongolian people fucking hate the Chinese. They fucking hate them.
To me, is that, like, time hasn't even passed since some of this shit has happened. Like, 50 years, 100 years, like, okay, like, that's a couple generations, but, like,
yeah,
That's not that much time in the grand scheme of things. Like
That's nothing.
Like Japan was literally trying to take over the fucking world like 70 years ago. Them in Germany were just like, yo, let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
Yo, let's just take over everything. This is Japan, Germantown. Like they did not give a fuck. That's why they were buddies. They were like, let me take over fucking Asia. Let me take over Europe.
Yeah.
And then we fucking nuked the fuck out of Japan and wrote them a constitution, and we're just like, here, stay in your place. Yeah. Like, how could they not be mad at us?
And then we like took over the world after that.
Because we're like, yeah, democracy,
yeah,
capitalism, yeah.
Let's spend all this money. Let's spend all this money on warfare, and then we can just basically be like, you know, the world police, and everybody's gonna have to like bend to our whims.
That's just funny though. Like they're the first people. We're the first people to use nukes, and they're like, okay, you guys can't use nukes anymore, okay? Nope. Which is probably better for the sake of the planet.
Yeah.
But
No, it's just bizarre that like it went there. You know. That it I feel like there was other ways. I guess like you know, the kind of the Japanese way of warfare is they're like, we're never gonna surrender. Like, go fuck yourselves if you think we're gonna surrender. But we were just tired of it. We're like, we're not gonna fight with y'all anymore. We're just gonna eliminate 2 of your cities.
That sends a message. That really sends a fucking message. Like, yo, how do these fuckers annihilate, vaporize my fucking city? And like leave fucking thousands of people mutilated and I guess fucked up and like genetically fucked.
You know you know what the crazy thing about it though is, like, we dropped 1 and then Japan's like, nah, we think you're bluffing with the second. like we're not done yet. We're not done here yet. And we're like, oh, you would think we're bluffing, and then we're just like, boom, number 2. And then we're like, the third one's coming for Tokyo, and they're like, all right, hang on a second.
Concede.
I think it would be hilarious if we didn't have 3, if we only had 2 bombs. Like, we only, for some reason, could only make 2, and we're like, the next one's coming for Tokyo, and we're like, Jesus,
we were really bluffing.
I hope they buy this shit, because if not, then we're gonna have a lot of explaining to do.
It's just like a regular bomb. It just like does like 100 square foot of damage. You're like, fuck, they're on to us. Was it you or was it Vice that was telling me that they used to give kamikaze Japanese soldiers meth? I think it was Vice. I've been on a Vice binge lately, a Vice and Vox binge lately, but they would give the kamikaze fucking soldiers meth, and like, I mean,
yeah, the German soldiers, the same thing.
No, they were on were they on meth or were they on Adderall?
They were on meth.
Look at us, history majors.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of meth throughout history.
No, yeah, and oh my god, dude, you want to talk about fucked up shit and drugs in Asia? The Opium Wars. Like, okay, I'm feeling like a modern day scholar with all this Vice, man. Oh my god, you should just open up your mind with watching Vice, Carson.
Oh yeah, Vice is that's like the most reliable source of information ever.
Oh yeah, no, but I was watching this thing. They had the fucking tea wars. The British would literally just sell hundreds and thousands of tons of opium and got these fuckers addicted. Oh my god, all these Chinese people were addicted. And they went to war with China when they didn't even want to. When the China said, okay, no more opium, and they was like, okay, well, fuck you. We're gonna make you buy opium from us, and we're gonna get the tea no matter what. We're gonna kill thousands of people just for the sake of opium and tea.
Yeah, and then we use the Chinese essentially as slave labor to build railroads, and they brought opium over here, and that's what started drug dealing in America.
Really?
Yeah. That was the first illicit drugs, because, you know, for a while, things like cocaine, early use of cocaine was used medically, and so was opium.
Yeah.
Opium was used in wars as like a sedative to cut off somebody's limbs or something. But the first like drug dealers in America, illegal drug dealers, were it was gangsters. Opium.
I'm just trying to wonder like what it was like. Someone back then, like the 20s, 30s, just eat some mushrooms. They're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how would you explain that to somebody else?
Yeah, you're wearing like a full 3-piece suit and a top hat, just tripping your balls off.
You look in the mirror like, what the fuck am I wearing? Why is everybody dressed up like this? Why do we all talk like this? Oh
Yeah,
my God, that
dude, that is bizarre to me. Like if you hear recordings of people from like the
fucks with
20s,
that mid-Atlantic accent. I fucks with that mid-Atlantic accent so hard.
it's
a
like
great one.
Yeah, see, we're gonna like that. Everybody said like everybody was talking in this like weird ass way, like they were villains tying ladies to train tracks. Everybody talked like that, and it doesn't make any sense how our speech patterns have evolved so much, like in so little time.
It's such a little time too. It's cool though how like the British accent developed into the Southern accent. I don't know how, but like it did, and you can see the similarities between the both. Like, oh, good day, mate. Good day, mate. Good day, madam. And you're like, good day, madam. I got
that was neither a British accent nor a Southern accent. you went straight Australian.
I messed up. Okay.
Good day, mate.
You see. You seen this scene? I think obviously you've seen this scene. I think it was in Ace Ventura. He pulls up, and there's this lady. He's like, what's his face? The main character. What's the actor's name? Why am I forgetting right now? Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's like, oh, I like your accent. Where's it from? And she's like, I'm from Austria. And he's like, oh, good day, mate. Better put some shrimp on the barbie.
You know, dude, that movie has one of my favorite like laughs in movie history. Like I sometimes will watch this scene and it'll still make me laugh. Is when he's like going around the fancy party and like the lady's wearing the fox around her neck, like the dead fox around her neck, and he's like, you know, obviously not into that because he's an animal rights person in the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like kind of giving her shit about it, you know, just being mean to her, like, oh man, like. Maybe we should make you into a fucking scarf and see how that looks. And the dude with the monocle, like the bald dude with the monocle, is, you know, being like, who is this guy? And he's like, oh, you must be the Monopoly guy. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. Just the way fucking Jim Carrey delivers that line. Or you must be the Monopoly guy.
Yo, what a legend though. I remember you showed me the Truman Show. That shit was trippy. I really liked that movie.
It's a good one.
Ooh. I don't think the movie I quoted was Ace Ventura. It might have been. You would know more than I.
I don't remember that line particularly, but it sounds like an Ace Ventura thing.
Oh my goodness. I'm not as cultured as Jim Carrey as I would like to be. Like, I know he's a legend, is he not?
100%, 1,000%, one of the greatest of all time. Like to do like in comedy, like there's nobody that I can immediately think of that goes that far for the bit every single time. Like he commits 1,000% to every single bit he does, and that's what's so impressive about him in his career is just back when he was on SNL doing like the Fire Marshal Bill stuff, and then he's like,
clue he was on SNL.
Yeah, that's where he got to start, and then you know, obviously stuff like Ace Ventura, and then on top of that, he's a fucking phenomenal actor, like not just a comedian, like a phenomenal actor. That's just, that level of talent is incredibly rare.
Him saturating my brain is from like those motivational speeches he used to do. That's cool though too. Is like, you know, become successful turned into motivational. Like,
yeah, I mean,
cool.
That guy had nothing. He was really just absolutely dirt poor, and he made himself into something. That's like Jim Carrey is a true rags to riches story.
Really, just like us. One day, people. One day. Actually,
I don't think either of us could say we came from rags.
Yeah, we're more middle class at least.
Yeah, we're not living in a car with our whole family.
Damn. Yo, I was reading Dolly Parton. That chick was ragged from riches.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Dolly Parton. I never heard her music. Pardon me, Dolly Parton. Yeah. Get it. Get it. Actually, that was really a stretch. Pardon me, Dolly Parton. Pardon. But either way, yeah, no. That was a pretty bad joke.
She has her
put
own
in the
theme
cricket-
park.
What?
Yeah, Dolly, what is it? Dollywood, yeah, Dollywood.
Maybe that's why the song Dolly is called Dolly by Lil Uzi Vert. But Dollywood, huh?
Yeah, it's like a Dolly Parton theme park.
Yo, are you cultured with Bollywood at all?
Not even in the least.
Why do they always have the fucking music in every fucking movie? Or is that just a stereotype and I'm being stereotypical right now?
I don't know. I really don't know anything about Bollywood except the fact that they make so many fucking movies. Like they make
we should watch
so
some
many
later.
more movies than Hollywood.
They're like, oh, America's doing this. Let's just fucking do it more.
I mean,
Let's fucking do it more.
I mean, there's a lot more people there. It's a bigger audience.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more people there. America's like 300 million is a lot, but like.
Yeah, but like almost 2 billion. That's a that's a lot
Yeah, if
more.
you want to get your shit out there, you got to market in like India and China type shit. They got $1 billion each, respectively. I think.
Well, China's got about 2 billion people.
What the?
India's got like 1.5 billion.
They're so tiny. India's tiny.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
it's big. It's big, but it's not. It's not like massive.
I mean, they are crazy overpopulated. The crazy thing about population disparity between the nations is pretty interesting because America, the United States, is one of the only countries that actually has a healthy population distribution. Like urbanization has kind of fucked that up a little bit because people are in big cities and they're so close together. But as far as just the entire country having 300 million people, that is a good place for us to be. And it's actually, and the fact that we're growing exponentially, it's necessary for the economy. It's necessary for the next generation to exist comfortably. But and you know what the funny thing about America is that the healthy level of population replacement is 2 children per family, right? Like you want to make enough children to replace you and your partner, but it's actually 2.1. Like you're supposed to have 2.1. That's the ideal place for you to be as a population, for everybody to have 2.1 children, because that statistic makes up for infant mortality rates and you know, deaths at an early age from diseases.
How do we go about that? We chop a kid up and give someone an arm and leg. I'm kidding. I think I know. I think I can figure that out. No.
Yeah, but the American people, as of right now, how we're having kids, the average married couple has 1.8 children. We're actually less than replacement value population. So anybody that's anti-immigrant, they need to fucking read up on population, because if we just had no immigrants coming into this country, our economy would collapse within 100 years. Like, absolutely.
Damn.
And that's what's happening to Japan, because Japan is anti-immigrant 1,000%.
It is super hard to get into Japan, from what I've heard.
And
super hard.
And they're going through the same
weird.
thing as us, where it's like, you know, female empowerment. When women are treated equally, there are less children, because in India it's a very patriarchal society where women are almost treated as property, and that's why in India you got families that have, I think on average, the average Indian family has 6 children.
Jesus Christ.
And it's because they're trying to have a boy, and they're trying to have multiple boys, and they want to have, you want to have like 2 male children, because it's like you got to make up for the fact that one of them probably isn't going to live to see 18. So
Damn.
You got to have a ton of children in that process, and say you have like you have a total of 10 children, and then 6 end up making it, and 2 of them are boys, and you're like, all right, this is good. So we have 2 boys that are going to take care of us in our old age, and then we got these 4 girls that we got to get rid of. So in India, you actually have to put together a dowry, which is like money or things, whatever it may be, just like wealth, a bundle of wealth, in order to get rid of your daughters.
Like to marry them off, or like
yeah, like you got to go to another guy and
like
be like,
offering.
yeah, and be like, look, you got a son. He seems like a decent dude. Seems like somebody that I want my daughter to marry. So I will give you, this dowry of stuff, of wealthy shit or whatever, in order for you to consider your son to marry my daughter. So having female children is actually considered a liability in India.
Huh. It just seems so far-fetched to me that like they've been doing it that way for probably very, very long, like a couple thousand years. I don't know how long India's been around or how so long the society has been around, but the aspect of just like arranged marriages and the patriarchal status too, like
Yeah,
how do men hold so much power for so long?
Because we can beat up women. That's like it, I think. I mean, that's my theory. It's not
I'm like processing that because that makes perfect sense. Like I know that sounds terrible, but like
no, but
then
like,
a woman
if
could
you're
beat
just
up a
thinking
man
about it
too, but-
rationally, like men and women are the same level of intelligent. There's no argument there. There's no difference of actual intelligence. So why is it the case that around the world men seem to run shit? Like men seem to have gotten themselves in positions of power to run shit globally. Well, it's because when society was first being introduced, when people started settling down and not being nomadic, not living living in small, urbanized communities, the guys just could, they were stronger, they're bigger and stronger. So that is like a very, Neanderthal type way of power,
Yeah, I would think so. Although there's definitely different species that have bigger, more aggressive women. And me, I like myself an aggressive woman.
Well, yeah, no, there's different species, but just
You're
in
out there,
the,
women.
in the human species, like men are generally stronger than women. They're just built bigger and stronger.
They built different, bro. They just built different.
Yeah.
I know you're not online too much. That's kind of a trendy thing to say. I'm built different. With a bunch of like the ice emojis and like the face going like burr, like.
Is it like a joke to say that, or is it?
Yeah. It's like I'm just built different, bro. I'm just built different, type of thing. They're just built different. But fucking America seems like a good place to live. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right now, yeah.
We get to fuck whoever we want. We get to make money, eat food. Go to the grocery store. Don't have to hunt. Don't have to gather. And if you're white, you probably have it far off better too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
Obviously, there's white people that don't have it far off better.
Yeah, but I know like white privilege is definitely a thing, but it's interesting to think about sometimes. I have been thinking about this a lot, that the fact that we live so comfortably means that there's somebody somewhere else in the world that's living in poverty. Like there's no way in the amount of just by the sheer amount of people that exist on the world, there's no way for us to maintain the comfortable lifestyle that we have without suffering in another part of the world.
I never thought about it like that. Like it almost sounds like a teeter-totter yin-yang type of thing when you put it that way. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Well, it's just like, I think you and I talked about this earlier off mic, that I was telling you about Louis C.K. and Louis C.K. had a joke about that where he said that we can either all have horses and lanterns and be a bit nicer to each other, or we can accept that there is going to be immense horrible suffering in other areas of the world so that we can, tweet something mean while we take a shit. I think that was the joke. And it's like
God.
that's just so we can have that, that privilege.
That's kind of powerful.
We have to
though.
accept that, like, all right, a bunch of babies are going to starve to death in these other countries, but I'm not going to think about that.
It's easy because you don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy because you don't see it. But but if you do, and then it just, oh my God, I'm hurting people. Like, fuck.
Yeah, because there's that old, that age-old kind of moral question of, like, for $1 million, would you push a button? You push a button and it gives you $1 million, but somewhere somebody in the world will die immediately. Will just randomly die if you do it. Do you push the button? And you ask people that, and a lot of people will say no. I don't want to cause death like that. But that is what we're doing to a certain degree. Just kind of by living the way we do. It wasn't a decision. It wasn't an active choice by us to do that.
Yeah.
But that is by our lifestyle happening every single day. And we just don't address it because it's a little bit more nuanced than simply pushing a button, somebody dies, and you get money.
All right, well, let's close it off. Let's say, well, what's your answer to that?
I don't have
an
button. Would I push the button for $1 million? No.
I would not either.
No, because I don't need
You do it for 10,000, wouldn't you?
You know it.
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. I could not kill somebody. Even like the thought of COVID spreading to somebody else and them dying because of me and I was just irresponsible is kind of like a shaking thought to me. I was like, oh, fuck. I don't want to have no blood on my hands. That's scary. That's horrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to think about.
Hopefully, you guys at home, you dreamers at home, are not killing anybody actively or passively. Nobody's in your basement starving to death while you feed them a peanut every other day. My name is Mikey, and I'm please asking you to please comment, rate, subscribe, like, subscribe again, and please stream our song 3-Day Weekend. It is on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Apple Music, and Spotify, and Google Play, and much, much more. This is Mikey signing out. Carson, would you like to add your spiel at the end?
Yeah, check out my podcast. Comes out every Tuesday. It's called the Shock Therapy Podcast. It's basically this, but with just me, and it's a lot more ADD and nonsensical. So if you thought that this was a little bit too well put together, then you might want to check that out. And that's all I got.
And
this is Carson signing out.
And you get to see Carson's face for a whole 30 minutes, which was pretty good. Pretty good. Hey, yo. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time, guys.
Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison, someone let me out. Been feeling disconnected now. I get money. No, I'm reckless now. I get high. Coming off the ground. This life is a prison, someone let me out.